Hey, everybody, welcome back. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, India. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest tonight is the anchor of Good Morning America, and this week with George Stephanopoulos, his new documentary series is Power Trip, Those Who Seek Power and Those Who Chase Them. Please welcome to The Late Show, George Stephanopoulos. Finally, there you are, in the seat. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
We've never actually had a conversation. We've never been able. You've never interviewed me. I've never
Not
interviewed
the real Stephen Colbert.
Exactly.
Which I actually couldn't believe. I was telling your team backstage, I could take a lie detector test swearing that I was on the show, and I haven't been on it.
Well, we've had your wife, Ellen Wentworth, on a couple of times.
And she sends her regards, by the way.
Oh, send it back. And she's got the same basic vibe you do.
Right.
You know, I think this is 2012
is this
or early
the This
2013.
Week one?
This is, you had me on for This Week with George Stephanopoulos when I had a super PAC back in the day. So this is 10 years ago was the last time we were on camera together. Look at those two young bucks.
Yes, we were young.
With dark hair. It's tough to, like, Washington is full of, you know, well-intentioned, poorly informed, high-status idiots, which is what I was. What was it like interviewing the character? Because very few people got to do that.
It was very hard to interview because I could never stay in character interviewing you in character. I would break up the whole time. But I realize now I owe you a debt.
Why?
It was the perfect training for interviewing Donald Trump.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Because nothing I said meant anything.
Well, no, that's the thing. You both throw up these clouds of word salad that actually, if you look closely at them, often is nonsense.
Nonsense to you, George, but these people get it done to you. I want to ask you about an interview you did with Maggie Haberman recently. Okay, so she's got the book, The Confidence Man book.
Incredible book.
Basically, the making of the former president.
Yeah.
And you're in it. That's what I want to ask you about it, is that you're in it, and she details how the then candidate, former president, lashed out at you after a 2016 interview you did with him. Why did he lash out at you? Because he lashed out so many ways to so many different people. What was the lashing about?
Well, it was this interview. It was the day after the Democratic Convention in 2016. I guess it was a Friday. I flew out to Colorado to meet him in some town. And we started to talk, and I asked him a question about, remember this Gold Star mother, the Muslim woman whose son was killed
in Iraq? Yeah, sure.
And he attacked her. And he just went after her, and I was like, I guess the interview's over. He just ended his campaign. But we kept on going. And I started to ask him about his relationship with Vladimir Putin, which he never gave a straight answer to. He said he knew him, he said he didn't know him, he said he met him, he said he didn't meet him. So I asked him about 3 or 4 times, just tell us what the relationship was. And I was just asking factual questions, went 3 or 4 times with him, and he finished the interview, and he walked out of the door and called over my producer who had been traveling with him, one of the embeds traveling with him, and I could hear the yelling in the hallway. Then he had Hope Hicks come back into the room and get me and walk me into the hall. And then he started yelling at me, going on and on and on and on and on, because I asked him about Vladimir Putin, which should have been the biggest tell in the world back in 2016.
Yes. One of the things that Maggie talks about, if I call her Maggie, Ms. Haberman talks about in her book, is how difficult it has been over the years to report on that fella, because anything you say about him, especially fact-checking his lies, ends up reinforcing what the original assertion he made was. And the fact check, a lie will go around the world while fact is still putting on shoes or something like that, and that you reinforce the lie by talking about the fact check. And I'm just curious how you've learned to deal with that.
Nothing has bedeviled me more over the last 7 years. I mean, this has been the biggest possible problem is at what point do we become complicit in all this simply by covering him? And I think that's a fair question.
Well, the crazy thing was that when he was elected president of the United States, one of the things that just chilled me was, oh, now there's no not talking about him. Well, because he's the most important person in the world.
But there are things that we did learn, like things that we would never do now that we used to just sort of broadcast his words, and then if he lied, we'd say, oh, that's a lie.
Yep.
Now, at least on my shows, if what he says is factually untrue, he won't show it. We'll say he's lied again about the election.
Oh, that's good.
But that's a start.
Sure, that's nice. That's good. That's a good answer.
But it's
just the fact check, not the assertion.
But all the things that used to work about politicians, you would show that they changed their positions. Nobody cared about that. You would show he called John McCain a war hero, a loser. Nobody cared about that. He attacked a Gold Star mom. Nobody cared. Not nobody, but people didn't care enough. Not sufficiently.
He shot a guy on Fifth Avenue. He kept his base.
And that worked. And, he accused Barack Obama of wiretapping him. Completely untrue. Nobody had ever made an accusation like that against a former president. He did seem to survive all that. I'm not sure that string is going to continue. Actually, I don't think that string is going to continue. But it has been amazing.
Tomorrow, as we were saying earlier, January 6th, possibly, maybe,
the final
hearing, not entirely sure.
And they're saying there's going to be all this new Secret Service evidence that comes out. But I guess my big question about that is, what else do we need to know? He lost the election. He lied about it. He stoked up a crowd of armed militants. They stormed the Capitol while he watched it on TV. Shouldn't that be case closed?
Sure. So, George Stephanopoulos right now is calling on them to not have the hearing tomorrow, is what I'm hearing.
I'm going to be watching, no question.
I'm going to be watching too. You're going to be reporting on it. I'm going to watch your reporting and then make jokes about it.
Okay.
So, what do you into? Yes?
No, and just before I walked in here, you guys haven't had a chance to process it yet. The Washington Post has an amazing story.
I heard about
coming
this.
out
Tell
right
the people
now.
what this is.
It's kind of incredible. They say, according to people inside the investigation, a Trump employee has told them that after the subpoena came in for the documents at Mar-a-Lago, Trump told him to move the documents. And they have on security camera footage, according to the Washington Post, showing the boxes being moved.
So before the FBI went in there to grab them, there was stuff that was shipped out to
according
locations
to this
unknown.
Washington Post article.
Okay. Wow.
Kind of amazing.
So it's time to raid Trump Tower and Bedminster.
Who knows what?
And Eric's house and stuff like that. Sure. Why not? We have to take a quick break. But when we come back, I will ask George about what he's looking forward to in the January 6th hearings tomorrow. Stick around.